Welcome back. I'm Jay.
I'm Q.
We got a special guest today, Jet Sealock, and we're going to discuss the Kentucky-Tennessee game, a really lopsided game. The Vols come out on Rocky Top. Final score, 71-52. We saw a really good performance by Jordan Bone, in my opinion, one of the best players in the SEC, one of the best point guards. He had 27 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds in 35 minutes. Just a overall great performance from the point guard, and as well Grant Williams, my vote for SEC Player of the Year. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Really took control of that game. It was a battle of maybe the two best players in the SEC, Grant Williams and P.J. Washington, and Grant Williams came out on top. And so did his team. So
as much as I love PJ, Grant Williams shut him down. PJ only had 13 points, and he only had 3 rebounds. And when plenty of his points come off second chance points,
Yeah, he really struggled. Jet, what did you see from the game, and where do you think Kentucky? Where do you think they have to improve if they want to make a run to get to Minneapolis for the Final Four?
Well, I think their guards are not playing that bad right now at the moment. I really like Ashton Hagans, Tyler Hero, and Keldon Johnson, but I really think Nick Richards has to step up because he is returning from last year. He was a pretty solid center last year, and everyone's excited about him coming back, and then he just hasn't shown up. PJ came back, and he's shown up this year. He's playing really well this year, and if he keeps it up and Nick Richards steps up, I think they have a chance to make it far.
Yeah, I agree. And, against Tennessee, we didn't have Reed Travis, our starting big, senior, 5-year player, leader on the team. And, that forced Nick Richards to have to step up, and he hasn't. So I definitely agree with Jet. If we want to make a run in the tournament, I think Nick Richards is definitely going to have to do more.
I agree, and I think what really needs to happen for the Wildcats, if they want to make a big run, is obviously got to get Reed Travis healthy. But, Jet, I think when you said their guards are playing well, I think what you really meant by that is Tyler Hero and Keldon Johnson. If you look at past Final Four teams, national championship teams, they've all had exceptional point guards. Just thinking about last year, Josh Hart. I mean, just an unbelievable point guard. And then in North Carolina, when they won the national championship, Joel Berry, unbelievable point guard. 2016, Ryan Arcidiacono for Villanova, exceptional point guard. 2015, Tyus Jones. So just the blueprint to win a national championship is obviously talent, a great coach, and Kentucky checks the box off both of those. Great talent, great coach. Yeah. I don't think they check the box off of a great point guard, but that's my opinion. No, I think Hagans can only play one side of the ball. Quickly's streaky, just not the blueprint to win a national championship. So right now I think there's maybe, in my opinion, 4 teams that check all 4 of those boxes off. And they are Duke, healthy. Duke when healthy. You got Trey Jones, their coach, Mike Krzyzewski, obviously. They obviously have tremendous talent around them. The other teams at Virginia, I think, checks the box off. Tony Bennett, great coach, great talent, and their point guard leader, Ty Jerome. And then Gonzaga, Mark Few, great coach. Obviously, a lot of talent. Rui Hachimura, Brandon Clark, and their point guard, Josh Perkins, the key to them. Mm-hmm. And then Michigan, they were a sleeper to some people. If you follow college basketball, I don't think they're really a sleeper. But Xavier Simpson, unbelievable point guard, and John Beilein's doing a great job up there. So I think the really blueprint you got to have is a great point guard, and that's where Kentucky's lacking right now.
Back to Quickly. I think he's still young, and I don't think he's developed yet. He has potential, Jay, but I think in order for him to get to where he wants to be, he needs to work on his outside shot, and that's something he struggles on. And I agree. The games he's played, he hasn't had a whole lot of success from the three point arc.
And if you want to be a point guard and you can't really shoot the three, you don't have a great 3-point jumper. You got to have exceptional passing abilities.
Right.
And he's got good passing abilities, just not exceptional.
When I think of a point guard who couldn't shoot the outside shot, but it was a good passer, I think of Rajon Rondo.
That's
for Kentucky.
exactly how I was thinking.
And he's one of the best point guards to ever come through, and he's done great in the NBA. Still is. Won a couple championships.
Yeah. So Jet, just what do you think about the game in general, and where Kentucky has to go from here?
Well, I'm going to go off what you said about the point guard with Ashton Hagans and Emmanuel Quickley. Both in this game, Ashton Hagans had 5 points and only 3 assists, and Quickley had 0 assists in this game. And like you said, if you don't have an outside shot, you need to be an exceptional passer, and they just don't have a point guard like that.
I agree. And looking at the rest of their schedule, they have Ole Miss and Florida remaining. Two definitely winnable games at Ole Miss. That's going to be a tough game. Ole Miss is having a really good year this year, but at home against Florida should be. Don't want to sleep on anybody, but that should be a pretty nice win. But I think Kentucky will be about a 2 or 3 seed, and they will match up against Tennessee maybe again in the semifinals in Nashville.
Talking about Kentucky's guard play, there was a bunch of talk about how last year's starting point guard Quade Green transferred to Washington, and I don't think that's hurt us a whole lot. I think I'll be honest with you, Jay. I wasn't a big fan of Quade Green, and I think since Hagan stepped up to the plate, I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
He had an off night against Tennessee, but I think he's definitely a fan favorite, and he's a great defender, and I don't think the transfer has hurt us a whole lot.
I don't think he would have been obviously nice to have, but speaking of a guy that would be nice to have at Kentucky, plays in state and a true point guard. How about Ja Morant and the Murray State Racers winning the OVC for back-to-back co-champions in the OVC? They play in the OVC tournament.
I believe they've won the OVC 28 times.
That sounds right. Trying to think of the great Aaron Clayton. What does he say when the Racers come out? 27 Ohio Valley Conference Championship. So this makes it 28 OVC championship. So Evansville, they play in Evansville Friday, probably against Jacksonville State, and they only match up against Jacksonville State in the regular season was a blowout. Jacksonville State won by about 20. So revenge game for the Racers. I will be in attendance. Should be a good one. But, everybody, obviously I think everybody in the country really wants to see Ja Morant. And what a better way than on national television on Friday and Saturday. And if they win, obviously in the NCAA tournament, just to showcase what Ja Morant is all about. So really hope the Racers can pull it out. It's going to be tough having to beat Jacksonville State and Belmont probably on back-to-back nights. So
while Jay's in Evansville, I will be in Lexington at Rupp Arena for the boys Sweet 16 state tournament.
Yeah, and so Sports Talk really has you covered with all that's going on. I think, Quinn, will you be making an appearance at the SEC tournament?
I hope so.
Okay.
I've been known to attend that event. I've gone 2 or 3 times before.
Yeah, so really busy week for us too. We have I'll be in Evansville for the OVC. He will be in the Sweet at Rupp Arena for the Sweet 16 with
good content,
with some really good games. When we come back, we should have you really covered. And then Quinn will probably be in attendance at the SEC tournament, at the SEC tournament. And if Murray State wins, I've already been informed that our producers are actually sending me to cover the Murray State Racers. So really excited if the Racers can get it done and get to the NCAA tournament. I will be covering for Sports Talk J&Q.
Talking about the boys state tournament, one of the best games of the whole tournament. It's the first round game between Scott County and Covington Catholic.
Rematch of last year's state championship game.
It's being played on Thursday at 1:30, and I will be there, obviously. And that's 2 teams that they're always 2 contenders for the title. You know, Scott County, Michael Marino. You know, I think personally I think is going to win. But then you also have John Hardin. You know, 35-0.
Undefeated.
They've first team to go undefeated since state tournament, and I believe 1962.
And they would be the first undefeated state champions since our own Brewers in 1948, Barney Thweet, back in his day. So really would like to see John Hardin win it, get that small school feel.
If you're unfamiliar with Brewers, that is a small community in Marshall County. And like Jay said, they won the state tournament in 1948.
Mm-hmm.
And back to the John Hardin game. They played Campbell County on Wednesday.
Campbell County is very
6:30.
talented, very talented.
Yeah, with a record of 29-4, that's also going to be one of the best games of the tournament.
I think, honestly, Quinn, the championship game is being played Sunday at, is it 2?
Yes.
Sunday at 2, but the real championship game is being played Thursday at 1:30 between Scott County and Covington Catholic. So, again, really, if you love basketball, this is your month.
Well, you have to remember Covington Catholic's losing one of their best players, Jake Walter. He was a 7-footer, and he got kicked off the team because he got charged with sexual assault, I believe.
Yeah, so not a good look for the Catholics up there, but if you love basketball, this is your month. You got conference tournaments in the NCAA, the Sweet 16, and don't forget about the regional tournament tonight. And the NCAA tournament coming up here in a few weeks. So just really great couple of weeks for basketball, and we'll do our best to keep you updated. And Quinn's gonna sign us off here.
Well, actually, Jay, I wanted to touch on one more thing about Covington Catholic. They have the best student section that I've ever witnessed.
I agree.
The chance they have, they're so good. The fans, the adults at the game, they'll look at them and they'll laugh and they'll be like, "Wow!" They're so involved with the crowd. And
I agree.
They create such a tough atmosphere to play at, and I love. If the game's not fun, the student section's fun.
Right, I agree.
They definitely keep it entertaining, and just the atmosphere is just incredible. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in to this segment of J&Q Sports Talk. I'm Q.
I'm Jay, and special guest Jet Sealock. We appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you for having me, Jay, and that is all we have for this show.
Yep, tune in next week.